Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Why I Love Flagler County. Today, I'm here with my guest, Miss Nikki, as she goes by, and I'm really excited because, we met through the BNI chapter that I've interviewed a few people from. And so we were just talking before we got on. She's been in Palm Coast all of her life. We're roughly around the same age, so it's super cool to see other young people out there doing the same exact thing you're doing. So thank you so much, Nikki, for coming on and sharing a few minutes of your time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, I'd kind of love to just kind of dive into it. Like, how has it been? Like, how have you seen Palm Coast just, I'm sure, just completely transform in the past 20 or so years that you've been here?
Yeah. So from when I was young, actually when my parents moved here, there actually a few of the roads were still like dirt roads, which is
Mhm.
crazy to think like how much we have now. I always thought, not to be rude, but I always thought Palm Coast was boring. And then I hear a lot of people coming in and they're like, there's so much to do here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then they start to tell me, and I'm like, I guess you're right. Like I have done all these things. There's kind of a lot to do, but it's been quite a change. I think it changed for the better for the most part. As much as there's a lot of people here now, I still think it's got that small town feel, and you still have enough to do around town. And like we have a lot of new restaurants and stores and stuff like that, which makes it a lot better, I think, to live here as well. So
Yeah. Is there any like opening of a store or restaurant you remember you being like, oh my gosh, it's finally here. Like I finally like we get it instead of just like Orlando or something.
I think like um this is old, but like when Chipotle came, that was crazy. We were like, Chipotle's here. And now we have like Crumble Cookie and Jeremiah just opened like the other day. I haven't even got to go there yet, but like I can't wait to go to those places. Like, I
Oh
mean, I've been
yeah.
a million times because it's right near my house, but Jeremiah's is like one of my favorite places. And I was like, we have a Jeremiah's. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And um, I remember when Target opened, that was like that whole like strip mall was like insanity. And we were like, no, we went all the time. It was so much fun, but it's been fun. I've kind of forgot about all those things until now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it's probably like maybe for people our age, we get a little bit more excited than maybe someone who's a little bit older and who, has been used to like driving other places. But like when we're younger, we can't drive to Orlando, right? We have to rely on things closer by. So when it's like
Mhm.
newer stuff is opening, oh my gosh, I remember that. That's yeah, I went to the Jeremiah's Ice last weekend. It was really great. I got like the mango or something. It was so good.
Really,
I never had Jeremiah's Ice, so it was really cool to try.
I get the gelati. That's the ice cream and the ice.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, it's so good.
Okay. I'll have to try that one next. I'll make a mental note of that.
And
Um, so I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your business and what started your business because you have a really cool business and what you do for people. So I'll let you explain it and then how you got into it.
Yeah, so basically my business is called Poppin Balloon Co. So I started this about a year and a half or so ago. I was actually nannying a little boy in town, and it was his first birthday, and his mom was like, why don't you go do the balloon arch? You're creative. And I was like, okay, sure. And I did it, and I was like, wow, that was like really fun. I enjoyed that. And they were all like, wow, you should do that as a job. And I was like, maybe you're right. And I kind of just started like researching it and kind of seeing how it works, and kind of kickstarted it myself and went from there. And it's been history ever since. But it's super cool. So basically, what I do is like I make balloon arches, balloon displays of any kind. It's for any sort of event. So like baby showers, bridal showers, birthday parties from any age. I've had so many birthday parties. Um, Stuff like that. Grand openings I'm doing. I'm actually doing Whataburger grand openings tomorrow, three of them. So that'll be fun. So anything like that, it's really to service any event. I'm also dabbling in the event planning side of things. So if you need decorations for your event or tablecloths, everything like that is pretty much what I've started to do as well. Uh, but I really love it so far. It's been really fun. It's a really great experience and something to start while I'm young, and hopefully it grows into something really big.
Right. And hopefully as you can grow, you can bring on new people, so you don't have to be the one to do the balloons the whole time, even though I'm sure it's fun for you. Curious point, how long does it take for you to normally do like a balloon arch, maybe?
So it depends on exactly how big and what I'm doing, but like a traditional, like small balloon garland is what sells a lot of the time. Excuse me.
No worries.
Uh, it probably takes me like an hour to blow up, and
Okay.
then we have to go and set it up. So like an hour or two, maybe 3 hours max to do everything. But
That's not
yeah.
bad. I mean, maybe I'm
Oh,
sure I'm sure as time has gone on, it's gotten a little easier for you because it's less like you have to think less about planning it out and how you want it to be delivered because now you can just be like, all right, I know this, so I know how much time exactly I should have allotted in my calendar when I do these things.
yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. And you have some really amazing stuff on your like social media sites, which I'll give you a chance to let people know where it is, and I'll make sure I have them in the description because they're just really, really beautiful. It makes me want to like throw an event just to have the balloons there.
Like really nice pop, if you will, to
Yeah.
your event. So it looks, everybody always loves them. It's great.
Which just makes sense.
Yeah.
So before we wrap this up, since you have lived in Palm Coast your whole life, what would you maybe recommend for maybe the new people of Palm Coast, or maybe wherever someone might be listening if they're not in Flagler, on just to kind of get a little bit more active in the community, or any groups that maybe they should be part of, or anything like that?
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of things that go on like at the community center. If you have kids and stuff like that too, there's a lot of events all the time that everyone's welcome to go to. We have a lot go on in the town as far as events. So there's really it's kind of fun. There's like farmers markets and they'll have like special holiday events. And I know like we do like a strawberry festival and a bunch of stuff like that. Like it's super fun. So you can definitely get plugged in with some of those things. But if you just go to like the local kind of shops in town, even like Flagler Beach, even though that's not Palm Coast, but Flagler Beach is so like there's so many little shops, and when you start going into them like more consistently, everyone gets to know each other and you can kind of build like community off of that. I know there's like Flagler Girls Club and like things like that too. Um, but like I work at Yes Coffee as well. So Yes Coffee is like my favorite place ever. So it's great coffee, great everything, great community. Everybody knows each other. We get regulars all the time. Like it's super great. And then my family and I do trivia here throughout the week. Normally we do the Tuesdays. It's at the Brown Dog. It's
Oh,
so much and like that's a super fun community kind of thing too because when you start going consistently, you can like meet all these people and then you see them all the time, then you see them out and then you like start talking to them. It's been fun doing those sorts of things. As far as otherwise, like just being at home, if you're not like a going out kind of person, just getting to know like your neighbors down the street is like super easy, and then you'll make connections with them there, and then you could grow with the rest of your neighbors and end up having like block parties and stuff like that all the time. And it's fun. There's a lot of things to do and get plugged in here.
yeah, and I think what you mentioned, I didn't even know they had trivia. I mean, I know there's like trivia here and there, but I didn't know they did it, at like Brown Dog and for example, and I think that's a really great place to build those connections because when you're all having fun together, you
Mm-hmm.
associate those people with having fun, and then
Yeah.
people want to be around you more because then that's how they feel about you. And it's just really great to be able to participate in these types of events together. And it's so cool that there are so many different things. I've been asking this question for the past like maybe 20 people I've interviewed. And there's just something new that people had mentioned to me. Like I remember Cameron Beal, who was in our BNI, he's like, "Oh
Mm.
yeah, there's like a surfing competition." I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then I told Laura Fickett, who is also in our BNI, she's like, "Yeah, they do dog surfing too." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there are all these things that I genuinely would never have known, but everyone has a little bit of nugget of knowledge to give." And then over time they really add up. And it's like, "Oh my gosh, now I know everything about Flagler County."
There's a lot. You would think, like I said, I didn't think there was no until you hear it from other people and you're like, oh wow, there's actually a lot going on.
Yeah, and I think definitely as your interest shifts and changes and what you focus on shifts and changes, your idea of what like a lot is kind of really shifts. And I think especially like for our age range, we think of maybe like more of like Orlando downtown as like that's a lot of things. But then you
Yeah.
go there and you're like, I can't park for the life of
Yeah.
me. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I should never live here.
Or you can park and it's like $50 to park and you're like, what the heck? Like it's crazy.
I had to park on the street once, like parallel parking, and I was like, this is I'm never coming back to Orlando ever again. This is so awful. So bad. Yeah. So it's just like it's like you mentioned, it's great to have a little bit of perspective and you're like, okay, there are things to do. I just have to look and I have to make sure that they align with what I want. And I think people will find when they look, they will align with what they want. So Nikki, thank you so much for coming on and sharing a few minutes. I really appreciate it. It was so great to learn about your business and then also learn so much about how Palm Coast has evolved. It's so fun to hear, especially for me. I've only been here like less than 2 years. And it's wild to think of this place as like only having like literally one stoplight, as a few people have mentioned
Yeah.
to me. And I'm like, I can't fathom that. I've never lived in such a small town, but
Hmm.
it's really cool to hear about people's experiences that way. So again, I appreciate your time. And what is the best way for people to reach out, to support your business, or to learn a little bit more about your amazing balloon arches?
My best way to contact me was either phone number, which you obviously have, so
Mhm.
tell her. And then social media is probably the easiest. I have Facebook and Instagram, and it's at poppinballoon.co. So super easy to find. I'm on both ones. They'll connect together too, so you can find them from each other. So super easy. Yeah.
Yes, and I'll make sure I have those linked in the description. And then, like she said, her phone number, which I'll also put in the description so people can reach out. Just a little bit easier. Definitely look out. And I know Yes Coffee is a really big place right now. Like they just opened, but I feel like everyone's already been there, which is super awesome.
Go there if you
Yeah, I haven't gone. I've been once and I got a gift card for a networking event I went to, but I haven't been able to taste it myself, but I really need to. I've been kicking myself about it.
have.
Well, again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Bye.